Greetings, everyone. I want to wish you all peace and healing. Today, we continue our journey of looking deeply into the wounds of our mind, identifying the core causes of our mental struggles, because it's only when we understand the root causes that we can truly heal these wounds and resolve the psychological challenges we face. Scientists have already helped us identify some of the causes of depression, such as genetic factors and the environment we grow up in. Perhaps traumatic childhood experiences, early life failures, or recent accidents could contribute as well. However, in my view, these factors are secondary. The primary cause lies in the way we live, our lifestyle, and our attitude toward life. Even with underlying conditions, if we lead a healthy life and consciously improve ourselves, cultivate deep values in our soul, these conditions won't define us or harm us. We won't develop psychological disorders. To put it simply, someone suffering from depression or caught in mental challenges is often a result of an unstable life. For a prolonged period, their life lacks stability, certainty, peace, and happiness. We must admit that as the economy develops, people focus more on the external world. We constantly seek opportunities, trying to grab as many advantages as we can. This leads to an unstable daily routine, irregular eating, poor sleeping habits, and little time to connect with family and society. We also lack the energy to take care of ourselves, and ultimately, with technology advancing, we end up spending far too much time with gadgets, computers, smartphones, and so on. As we spend more time in the virtual world, disconnected from the real world, we stop caring about how our body feels, our emotions, or our inner state. We are constantly busy with messages and the constant stream of distractions online. This causes the richness of human experience to diminish, and it becomes fertile ground for mental illnesses to emerge. This is the root cause: a wrong attitude toward life, a lack of nourishment, a lack of health, a lack of the essential qualities that should belong to a sacred and miraculous being like a human. So we can agree that the main cause of psychological wounds and depression lies within us. More specifically, it's in our souls, in the core of who we are. We've also agreed that all suffering originates from the mind. Therefore, the therapy to treat this suffering also comes from within the mind. Every living being in this world possesses a special instinct, the ability to self-heal. This means that deep within our souls, there are remedies capable of healing all wounds. To put it more simply, it's the misalignment in our psychological structure that causes certain phenomena, negative energies, and unfortunate consequences. We may call this the dark beast of depression, or the various pains and sufferings we experience. The solution lies in realigning this structure. Psychological therapy has introduced methods like EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which focuses on managing psychological states. It means that when we become aware of our depression, we need to find ways to manage the conditions affecting us. This helps bring balance back to our lives. One well-known term is restless de-stress. When we reduce stress, we diminish the pressures that drain our energy and prevent us from living a controlled life. Simply put, if we allow life's pressures to keep bearing down on us, we will not have the opportunity to heal our depression. So we need to pinpoint everything that contributes to our stress and take steps to reduce them. Take work, for example. We may need to reduce our working hours or cut down on projects. In some cases, it's best to switch to part-time work. If our condition worsens, we might even need to set aside all work and focus solely on healing the wound. Another factor contributing to pressure is our relationships. Healthy relationships can be very supportive, but if there are too many problems or conflicts, they can negatively impact our well-being. Sometimes, we may need to distance ourselves from those relationships, or take a break from individuals who cause us emotional strain. This could be anyone from our parents, spouses, children, or others who play a significant role in disturbing our inner peace. In other words, when dealing with depression, we must first strive to understand it. It's important to accept that depression is a mental condition, and people around us may not fully understand it, but we must accept it ourselves. This acceptance is crucial. Once we accept it, we stop feeling confused, thinking that it's something else, or denying it. We stop resisting, which can make the situation worse. And we must remember that depression, like other conditions, can be healed. Acceptance means also acknowledging the necessity of external help. For most people with depression, especially in later stages, it's difficult to overcome it alone. Professional support is essential to the healing process. Now let's talk about discipline. When we're treating depression, we need to set ourselves up for healing. We must follow routines, meeting with a therapist regularly, taking medication on time, exercising daily, connecting with nature, and engaging with the community. We also need to ensure our diet is balanced, giving us the nutrients we need. Discipline creates inner strength, and with that strength, we can stand up against the black dog of depression. All of our efforts, rooted in love, understanding, and self-compassion, will help us beat the depression and heal the wounds in our hearts. As the saying goes, only someone who has been through the experience understands it. Only those who have gone through depression can truly empathize with this condition. Those who have not experienced it, no matter how much they love us or try to understand, will never fully grasp what it feels like. Depression is not simply a loss of memory or a complete loss of identity. It is more than that, and those who haven't faced it can't truly comprehend the depth of the experience. Depression is like a black dog by our side, growing stronger every day. If we don't notice it or fail to address it in time, it will slowly consume us. There are times when we don't even realize the black dog is still there. It influences our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. But as we look deeper into it, we realize something important. This black dog is not us. It's a guest in our house. We are the homeowners, and we are the ones in control. The black dog might have power over us now, but we have the ability to take it in stride, accept it, and even transform it. Eventually, it can become less of a beast and more like a harmless pet, and we become its master. By practicing mindfulness, we can quickly identify when our emotions or thoughts shift from positive to negative. We can recognize the black dog's presence and take the necessary steps to keep it in check. Through time, patience, and practice, we can manage it. We may even learn to live alongside it peacefully, acknowledging its presence without letting it control us. Let's move forward with this understanding. The more we practice, the more control we gain over our inner world. We will no longer be ruled by this black dog, but will instead become the owners of our thoughts, feelings, and lives. Now, as we continue, it's important to remember that our journey to healing involves deep introspection and self-awareness. Understanding the black dog of depression is one step, but transforming our relationship with it requires continuous effort. It's a process of learning to coexist with the challenges we face without letting them define us. One crucial practice in overcoming depression is developing a daily mindfulness routine. Mindfulness isn't just about meditating or finding peace in solitude. It's about becoming more aware of our thoughts and emotions in each moment. By being fully present, we can catch ourselves when we start to fall into negative patterns. This allows us to make conscious choices rather than letting our emotions control us. In addition to mindfulness, engaging in physical activity can be an incredibly helpful tool for healing. Exercise is not only beneficial for the body, but also for the mind. When we move our bodies, we release endorphins, natural mood boosters that help reduce stress and anxiety. This can help break the cycle of negativity that often accompanies depression. But it's not just about physical exercise. Connecting with nature and taking time to breathe fresh air can have a profound effect on our mental health. Nature has an incredible ability to ground us, to help us feel more centered and present. Even a short walk in the park or sitting outside for a few minutes can make a significant difference in how we feel. We must also pay attention to our emotional needs. Connecting with loved ones is an important aspect of healing. But, as we've discussed earlier, sometimes our relationships can become a source of stress. When this happens, it's essential to create boundaries and give ourselves space. This doesn't mean cutting people off, but rather taking a step back to protect our mental well-being. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care that allows us to maintain balance in our lives. We should also prioritize activities that bring us joy. Depression often steals our ability to experience pleasure or motivation. But through intentional actions, we can rediscover what makes us happy, whether it's engaging in a hobby, watching a favorite show, or spending time with people who uplift us. These activities act as small yet powerful reminders that life still holds moments of joy, even amidst the struggles. Another important element in overcoming depression is learning to manage our thoughts. Often we get trapped in a cycle of negative thinking. We begin to ruminate on our problems, worrying about things that haven't happened yet or replaying past mistakes. This mental loop can be exhausting and overwhelming. To break free from it, we need to actively challenge our thoughts. We can start by asking ourselves, is this thought true? Is there another way to look at this situation? By questioning the validity of our thoughts, we can start to shift our mindset toward a more positive and balanced perspective. In addition, it's essential to recognize the role of self-compassion in the healing process. Depression often makes us our own worst critics. We may feel like we don't deserve happiness or that we've failed in some way. But self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a close friend. It means forgiving ourselves for mistakes and acknowledging that we are worthy of love and care, even when we're struggling. However, self-compassion doesn't mean letting ourselves off the hook. It means being honest with ourselves while also offering support and encouragement. We can acknowledge that we're going through a tough time, but we don't have to let it define us. We can actively work to improve, to heal, and to grow. Let's not forget the importance of professional help. While self-care and self-reflection are critical, there are times when we need support from a therapist or counselor. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous step toward healing. A mental health professional can provide guidance, offer strategies for coping, and help us uncover the underlying causes of our depression. Therapy can take many forms, from traditional talk therapy to more specialized approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which focuses on changing negative thought patterns. There's also EMDR therapy, which helps individuals process traumatic memories. Different people respond to different methods, so finding what works for us is key. It's important to remember that healing from depression is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, good days and bad days, but with patience, self-compassion, and the right tools, we can gradually shift the balance in our lives. We can reclaim our power, regain our peace, and ultimately find our way back to joy and fulfillment. The idea of fighting depression may seem daunting, but it's not about battling it with sheer willpower. It's about creating an environment within ourselves that fosters healing. By nurturing our mental, emotional, and physical health, we can slowly regain our strength and resilience. The goal is not to defeat depression completely, but to learn how to live alongside it in a way that doesn't hinder our growth or happiness. In essence, we're learning to become the master of our own lives. The black dog of depression may always be there, but with the right approach, we can take control. We can use mindfulness, self-compassion, exercise, and support from others to manage it. We can transform our relationship with it, and over time, it can become less of a threat and more of a reminder of our strength and resilience. As we continue to practice, we'll find that the healing process becomes less about fighting depression and more about accepting it as part of our journey. It's not about making it go away entirely, but about learning how to live with it in a balanced way. The more we embrace this mindset, the more we empower ourselves to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. Despite the challenges we face, we are not defined by our depression. We are defined by how we rise above it. And with each step we take, we move closer to healing, to wholeness, and to peace. As we approach the final stage of this journey toward healing, it's important to recognize that the path isn't linear. There will be setbacks, moments of frustration, and times when we feel like we're back at square one. But remember, healing isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to the life we want to live. One of the most powerful tools in overcoming depression is gratitude. It may seem difficult, especially when we're in the depths of a mental health struggle, but practicing gratitude can be transformative. In the midst of hardship, we may find it hard to recognize what we're thankful for, but it's often in the most challenging times that we have the most to appreciate. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right, helping us develop a positive outlook on life, no matter how tough things may seem. A simple gratitude practice can make a big difference. Each day, try to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be big or small, anything from a good meal to a supportive friend, a moment of peace, or even the fact that you woke up today. This practice helps to retrain our brains to focus on the positive aspects of life, which can reduce the intensity of depressive thoughts. Along with gratitude, we must embrace the idea of self-reflection. Journaling is a powerful tool for understanding ourselves better. When we write down our thoughts, it can bring clarity to our feelings and emotions. It allows us to track our progress, see patterns in our behavior, and identify triggers that may cause us to spiral. Reflecting on our experiences can be an eye-opening process that fosters growth and self-awareness. But journaling isn't just about writing down the negative thoughts or challenges we face. It's also about celebrating the small victories and acknowledging our strengths. Every step forward is a step toward healing, and journaling allows us to honor those moments of progress. Even on days when we don't feel like we're making much progress, writing about our efforts and acknowledging the struggles we've overcome can be a reminder of our resilience. Another key aspect of healing is cultivating meaningful connections. Isolation can be a major contributor to depression, as it allows negative thoughts to take hold without challenge. Engaging with others, whether it's family, friends, or support groups, can provide a sense of belonging and reduce feelings of loneliness. When we open ourselves up to others, we allow for vulnerability, and in doing so, we create space for healing. It's also important to note that healing is not a solo journey. While we can make great strides on our own, the support of others is invaluable. Whether it's a trusted friend, family member, or mental health professional, having someone to turn to can provide a sense of comfort and reassurance. In those moments when we feel overwhelmed, knowing we're not alone can be incredibly soothing. Additionally, we must learn to let go of perfectionism. Many people with depression struggle with feelings of inadequacy or the belief that they must do everything perfectly. This belief often leads to feelings of frustration and burnout. Perfectionism can be a barrier to healing, as it creates unrealistic expectations that only lead to disappointment. Instead, we should aim for progress, not perfection. Embrace the idea that it's okay to not have everything figured out, and that each small step forward is an achievement in itself. As we work through depression, it's essential to reframe the way we view challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, we can view them as opportunities for growth. Every hardship offers a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity to become stronger. When we shift our perspective, we become more resilient, better equipped to handle future challenges, and more accepting of the fact that life is full of ups and downs. Furthermore, it's crucial to nurture our spiritual well-being during this healing process. Whether we identify with a particular faith or practice or not, there is power in connecting with something greater than ourselves. This connection can provide a sense of purpose, strength, and peace. Spiritual practices like prayer, meditation, or even just taking quiet time for reflection can be deeply healing, as they help us connect with our inner selves and with the universe. Healing also involves embracing the power of rest. In our fast-paced world, we often underestimate the importance of taking time to rest and recharge. Rest isn't just about sleep, it's about giving our minds and bodies the space they need to heal. We need to honor our need for relaxation and recognize that taking care of ourselves isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Finally, we must remember that healing is a lifelong journey. Depression, like any other illness, requires ongoing care and attention. There will be good days and bad days, and we must be kind to ourselves through all of them. Healing doesn't mean we'll never experience sadness or pain again, but it means we've learned to manage it, to live alongside it, and to find peace in the process. As we continue on this path, we must trust in the process. Healing takes time, but every day we're doing the work. Whether it's through mindfulness, gratitude, exercise, or therapy, every action we take is a step toward healing. We are not defined by our struggles, but by our strength to overcome them. And through it all, we must remember to be gentle with ourselves. There is no rush to heal, no timeline we need to follow. The most important thing is that we keep moving forward, one step at a time. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and know that you are worthy of healing, of peace, and of happiness. As we conclude this journey, I want to remind you that you are not alone. There are countless others walking this path with you, and together we can create a future full of healing, joy, and love. Keep moving forward, and never lose sight of the light within you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Take care of yourself, and always remember that healing is possible. The power to change your life lies within you.